Well, hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom with the Get Up and Go Challenge. Let's talk about your questions and answers. I am gonna pop in and just answer. I've been collecting all of the questions throughout the challenge, and as such, I've got a whole bunch of them. And so what I'm doing is I'm combining some of the questions by group, by category, by common questions, because guess what? After we do things a couple of times, we start to see the same themes and the same questions pop up. I want to make sure that the frequently asked questions, your questions, are answered. So if I don't cover yours, make sure you share in the comments below exactly what your question is, so I make sure that you get your questions answered. So we make sure there's nothing standing in the way of you moving forward to get up and go, right? To keep moving forward in your life. So let's just run down the list and see what the most common questions are. They're in no particular order. Just went through and combined the questions. This one is from Lisa, and Lisa talks about, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but she talks, because it's hard for me to read anything, but she talks about that it's hard to do, it's hard to get moving, it's hard to get up and go, and how can she get up and go when she doesn't even want to get out of bed sometimes. So I'm going to bring us back every time there's a question, because as I was looking at all the questions and reading them, I realized that if we follow the SOAP framework, the SOAP process: story, situation, options, action, and progress, it almost every question fits into one of those categories. Now, every question, little tough love here right up front, every question within it has thoughts and beliefs and feelings and emotions and objections or reasons why, or excuses why something won't work, or why we can't do something. And we all do that. I'm actually doing a personal exercise about the consciousness of beliefs in not just 7 areas of our life, which I talk about in the challenge, but 9 areas of their life. I hopped into somebody else's challenge, and they actually have 2 other higher levels that I hadn't even considered as part of what I do and of my work and my personal work, because guess what? It all starts with us first, right? And so I've got work to do too in terms of looking at my beliefs and the stories I'm telling myself in the situation. And one of those is that something is hard to do, especially when it's new. But let me ask you, Lisa, is it really hard to do? I mean, did you get out of bed this morning? We get out of bed every morning, right? And again, the hardest thing we have to do every day is to get out of bed. And once we get up out of bed and our feet hit the floor and we start to move, even if it's creaky and arthritic like me, once I get moving, it becomes easier and easier. And sometimes when I first start moving, it's harder, but then I know that I will get through that hump. I'll get to the little hump, and then it'll become easier again. Same thing with exercise. People with chronic pain know exactly what I'm talking about, the whole getting out of bed thing. So is it hard to do? Is it seriously hard or impossible to do? Or is it just challenging? And if it's challenging, guess what? We're faced with challenges all the time. And I know you can do this and overcome this. And the other thing to remember is it's not hard, because you get to choose how you're going to get up and go. What your next action is going to be. We're not worried about 10 actions down the road, just your very next action. What is the next thing you can do to get you moving forward, to get you going in the direction you want to go, and to move your life forward? So, whether something is hard or easy, difficult or challenging, it's entirely up to us and how we define it. We can say, hey, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a piece of cake. I can do this, and pick something that you want to do that's exciting and that you're excited about, that's moving you towards something that you want. Don't make it a huge thing that you have to do that you don't want to do. Like, here's an example. If I need to clean the house because I don't have help right now, and I have to clean the bathroom. I hate cleaning the bathroom, right? I don't mind doing dishes and loading the dishwasher and cleaning up the kitchen. I like doing that, but I hate cleaning the bathroom. So I save the bathroom till last, right? I know I need to clean the whole house. It's a big project. It's hard to do. I can find all kinds of reasons and excuses to procrastinate and things I'd rather do and things I need to do instead of cleaning up the house or tidying up the house. But I don't start with the bathroom, because that's the hardest thing for me to personally do. I start with something that I like to do. I start with laundry or loading the dishwasher, or things that I don't mind doing, that I actually kind of get a kick out of or kind of like to do, because they make a big impact and I can see a lot of progress quickly. So pick something that you're excited about or curious to do and move in that direction. And that will make it less hard to do. And remind yourself of all the success you've had doing hard things, because we've all done hard things, right? I guarantee that if you've gotten out of bed this morning, you can absolutely positively get up and go in the direction you want your life to go. So what do we have next? Next we have from Jake. Basically, he is saying he doesn't know what to do. And again, if we refer to our SOAP, story, options, actions, and progress, well, you need a framework for that, right? And we can use the SOAP framework to answer that question if we don't know what to do. Now, the truth is, guess what? You, Jake, and everyone else, we always know what to do. We might put blinders on and think and tell ourselves, I don't know what to do, because that's an excuse or an objection. And a lot of people will buy that, right? Hey, I just don't know what to do about this. And you can tell people and they'll all commiserate with you and slap you on the back and say, oh, Jake, don't worry about it. You don't know what to do. That's okay. We'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. And guess what? We can spend decades figuring stuff out by telling ourselves we don't know what to do. Or we can say, what's this story I'm telling myself that I don't know what to do? Because guess what? I've had problems that are less severe or less challenging than this before, and I don't have to have the total answer, but I can figure out the next thing to do. And if we remind ourselves, I only have to figure out the next step. I only need to figure out what I'm going to do next to get me moving in the direction I want to go. So we follow the framework. Where are you? Where do you want to go? What is the next possible thing that you can do to get there? Now, I didn't say what is the next thing that you got to do. I said, what is the next possible thing that you could do? Maybe you just pick up the phone. So that can be pretty easy, right, Lisa? Or maybe you ask somebody. Maybe you go on your phone and you just Google and ask Google, or you go watch a YouTube video. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It just has to be something. So, Jake, I guarantee you know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, put it in the comments below. Say, hey, this just briefly in a couple sentences, give us your situation and say, I don't know what to do, and we will help you come up with the next step. But I guarantee if you spend about 1 second asking yourself the question, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say, what should I do now? Not, I don't know what to do. What can I do? What's possible? What can I possibly do right now? You will know the exact right best thing for you to do better than any of us could possibly ever tell you. We can give you some ideas, we can brainstorm with you, but you in your gut know what is the next thing to do. Let's see what else we've got. From Michelle, she is questioning whether she can do it. She says, yeah, I see that other people know what to do. They can get up to go, they can change, they can pivot, they can do different things in their business, but can I actually do it? She actually has a nail salon, and yeah, Michelle, please do it because I need help. Pivot, 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 please. And actually, Michelle, your industry, your business is on the cusp of making it really easy to pivot and transition to whatever comes in the world going forward. Actually, my nail salon opened this weekend, and I realized that my nails were a casualty of COVID-19. But like anything else and everything else, they'll come back, right? Just like our economy will come back, your business will come back, and you absolutely positively can do it. The first step is believing that you can, knowing with 100% certainty that you absolutely positively can figure this out, and that it doesn't take a rocket scientist, it doesn't even take anybody smart to figure this out. It just takes the desire to know what you want to do. So focus on what you want to do, why you want to do it, refer back to, well, what's the story I'm telling myself? Why am I telling myself and doubting that I can do this? Have I succeeded and done things in the past? Absolutely, positively. You've got your own nail salon. You absolutely positively can do this. And again, that industry is already pretty well set up because you can have people in every other chair. You can space people out. You can wear masks. You already are doing sanitary, beauty, and anesthetic type things that require a level of sanitation and cleanliness and cleaning that most industries don't already have in place. You've got most of those things in place, so you absolutely positively can do it. Again, when in doubt, ask for help. If you're not sure what to do, ask for help, because one of us can lead you in the right direction in terms of getting the help that you need. Refer back to the model. Soap, right? You guys already have soap in your industry, and I know my nail salon has already been wearing masks for a long time. I think since they started using the new dipping and pink powders and things, they've been using masks, and for grinding off our nails, they use masks. So you've got this. You positively, absolutely have this. And when implemented correctly, the soap plan can help you do whatever it is that you want to do for your business and help you get up and go. Next we have Tammy, and Tammy goes on to describe how her business and her situation is different than everybody else's. And this is a really common belief, and I will say I am totally guilty of this. When I was running some of my different businesses over the years, especially my Italian food manufacturing business, I was always saying, oh, my business is different. And in ways it is. Guess what? Every single one of our lives and businesses is different and unique and special. I say everybody's a snowflake, and I don't mean that in a puffy way. I mean, we are all unique, amazing, beautiful creatures, and so are our businesses and our lives, right? We are all different. So embrace that difference, and instead of using it as a reason to stop you from doing what it is that you want, use it as the impetus to push you forward to do what you want, knowing that you have something to offer other people and yourself and your life that no one else can offer. Nobody else, I say this a lot, no one else can experience your life exactly as you do. Nobody in history, nobody in the future, just you are here to create what you're here to create, and that is through the expression and the experiences that you have. And that's what our life is all about. Big secret, purpose. I spent decades looking for my purpose, and all of my study thus far has led me to conclude that we all have the same purpose, although it's different for each and every one of us. Our purpose is to experience this life as only you or I uniquely can. Nobody can live this life for us. Nobody can experience things for us. Only we can, and that's our true purpose, is to contribute to the whole of existence by being the best version of ourselves that we possibly can. At least I like to say we should be the best version of ourselves we possibly can. So I hope that helps. Tammy, I know, oh yeah, well, we're all different, so don't worry about it. I feel it's kind of trite, but not really, because we really are. Think about this pandemic and what we're all going through collectively. If you think about your life, each and every one of us have had experiences that we felt like we're the only one going through it, like we're all alone, and that nobody understands and nobody gets it. But really, if we take a step back, we think about it, if I'm feeling depressed, or if I'm feeling happy, or if I just got married, or if I just got divorced, there's millions of people going through the exact same thing. If I just lost my friend, if I just lost my dad, there's literally millions of people that are going through the exact same thing at the same time, or have been through it already, right? But we always feel like we're all alone. The unique thing about this situation is almost the whole world has been impacted by the same thing. COVID-19 has impacted all of us in some way, shape, or form simultaneously. That almost never happens. So as challenging as it is to make sure that we're not getting everybody else's energy and letting it negatively impact us, we also have this sense of community in that we're all going through a huge transition and change together. And because of that, our world will be forever changed. And even though we're all unique and different and experiencing it from our own being, everybody's going through it simultaneously. And that gives me personally some sense of comfort. I hope that helps Tammy. Bob says he is frozen and paralyzed, and he just wants to sit on the couch and binge watch Netflix and the other streaming videos. Bob, my question for you is, where do you want to go? We know where you are right now. You're sitting on the couch, paralyzed, frozen, watching shows. All kinds of shows. I didn't ask what kind of shows. You didn't say what kind of shows, but shows or movies. I'm guilty of that. I will go in stages when I need downtime and just zone out with movies. I love movies. I love streaming TV because I always hated TV. I couldn't stand the commercials and things and the interruptions, so I never liked television, not for decades. But I do participate in the streaming videos and the streaming television these days. So my question for you is, Bob, if you're paralyzed and frozen, what is it and where do you want to go? What do you want your life to be like, and why do you want it to be that way? The only thing that can get you moving is you. We can chat about it. We can talk about it. We could, go on and on about it. But the truth is, the only person that can motivate you is you. The only person that can decide that you want to move off the couch or take a move or a step in the direction of what you want your life to be is you. I guess the thing I think about this is, we can sit on the couch. We can sit on the couch for months, 2 months. We thought it was going to be a couple of weeks, so a lot of people said, I'm just going to sit on the couch and see what happens. And as we moved into this, and the weeks turned into, the days turned into weeks, the weeks turned into months, a lot of people have continued to just be paralyzed and frozen, because what happens, it's the whole inertia and momentum thing. An object in motion tends to remain in motion unless acted upon in an equal and opposite force. Yet, an inert object, an object that is sitting, tends to stay sitting unless it's acted upon by some kind of a force. Well, that force has to come from within you, because no one else is going to do it for you. But that comes from you having something to look forward to, something that you want to create in your life. And only you can determine what that is and why you want that. If you're sitting on the couch and paralyzed and you've lost your job, and you didn't say all these things, but if you lost your job or your business is shut down, there are things that you can and should be doing. If you've lost your job, you have to ask yourself, is my job coming back? Do I love my job? Did I love my job? Do I want to go back to that? And if you're sure it's coming back and you love it, and that's your passion, what you want to do for the rest of your life, then you'll probably be called and go back to that. But what if it isn't there? What if something changes to the extent that your job, your profession isn't back anymore? Then what are you going to do? And if you've sat on the couch for these months and not done anything to prepare yourself, will you regret that you haven't done that? And you might not. You might say, hey, I have busted my butt for 50 years. I am taking 2 months off. I'm going to sit on the couch. I'm going to just vegetate until the world goes back to normal. And we, each of us have our prerogative. We can do that. But I say, at least get up and go for a walk. Go out for a walk around the block once in a while, so that you don't get blood clots or anything. All right, that's enough on Bob. Next is Kelly. And Kelly talks about, what if I do the wrong thing? What if I try and do something that makes my situation worse? Kelly, we've all been there. We've all done that. If we do anything, there's a risk associated with everything and anything that we do, right? There's a risk to walking out the door in the morning. There's a risk to driving your car to the store. There's a risk to absolutely everything we do. Our life is not guaranteed. We take death for granted. Most of us in our daily lives never think about dying or about death. And things like the COVID virus are causing us to actually face our mortality and realize that we're not going to be here forever, and question, well, what are we doing with our life? Are we really doing what's in alignment with who we are and what we want to do, or are we just doing what we think we should do? And so, what if I go the wrong way? Kelly, it's impossible to go the wrong way, because each of us, everyone on the planet, has our own path and our own way of navigating this life, right? I love, and I'm a little guilty of this too, of teaching people my framework of SOAP, right? I teach people a framework because a lot of people don't have one. And I teach people how to set up systems and do things, but I only teach them the way I've done it, the way I figured it out, or the way I learned to do it and then tweaked it that it worked best for me. But each and every one of us absolutely have to do the work and do the testing to find out what works for us. Because what worked for me exactly isn't going to work for 100% of the people that try it. It's impossible, because all of us are different. We all come into every situation with our past experiences, our past learnings, the things that we know, the things we have an understanding of. And that changes what we need to do going forward. So is there any guarantee that you're not ever going to make a mistake in your life again? No, I guarantee you are going to make mistakes. You are going to go the wrong direction. You are going to try something and your results are going to be worse. But here's the gift in that. You know what doesn't work, right? I will admit that I have learned way more and had a lot more progress from the mistakes I've made than I've ever had from the successes. If I try something and it works the first time, I just go with it. I don't go back and I say, okay, well, what did I learn from that and how can I make it better? We just keep moving in the success path. And it isn't until we have a problem or a challenge or a trial or something doesn't work that we have to make a change. And we're all making a change right now. So I guarantee you're going to try things. Some things are going to work, some things aren't. But results are just results. They help you to course correct and know what direction to go. That's what progress is all about, right? We take action, we see what the result is, we test it. If it moves us in the direction that feels good to us, where we want to go, we keep moving in that direction. And we keep tweaking and testing and perfecting and continually improving. That's progress toward what we want. If it doesn't work, yay, that's awesome too, because now we know what direction not to go, what makes us feel worse, what doesn't move us in the direction that we want to go. So every action we want it to have a result. The ones that are really frustrating are when you do something and you can't tell if it worked or not. I've done this a lot with my health. I've tested and tweaked different vitamins over several years to find out what works best for my body. Because you know what? The nutritionists and the experts will tell you, oh, you have to do this. You have to eat hot peppers for your heart, or cayenne pepper. And it turned out that I was doing that, but that was one of the things that contributed to me having a huge health challenge. Well, I was doing too many of the things that were generally the experts say are good for you, but weren't good for me. So we have to test everything, right, on ourselves and to see what works for us, because our success path will be different than anyone else's in any area, in any aspect of our life. So I hope that answers your question, Kelly. If you still have questions about that, just hit me up, okay? Monty says basically that there is nothing he can do, that COVID shut his business down, and there's nothing he can do. And I'm having a hard time with this because he didn't say what type business he has. Because Monty, I want you to message me directly and we'll chat about it, because whatever business you're in, I personally guarantee there is something that you can do. That goes back to our story, the story in our situation, part of SOAP. It goes back to the very beginning, and it's based on what our beliefs are. If you believe there's nothing you can do, there is nothing I can tell you. There is nothing you can do. Because if you've made up your mind there's nothing you can do, then you're going to have to be like Bob and just wait it out on the couch and then react to everything that comes your way and figure it out as you go along. So I guess that's all I have to say about that. Ask yourself, what are my beliefs? What are the stories I'm telling myself? Is there really absolutely nothing I can do? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Is there no way I can do anything? And if your answer is yes, hit me up and we'll come up with something. I guarantee we can come up with a plan to help you. Pam says, I am scared I'm going to lose my business and that I can't recover after 2 months of 0 sales. Again, I would say, Pam, you didn't say what your business was, so I can't specifically help you, but I guarantee that there is something you can do, and you can recover if you believe you can recover, if you use the framework. When implemented correctly, any framework, including SOAP, will help you to get up and go. It will help you to move in the direction that you want to go. It'll help you to be successful and create whatever it is that you want. Maybe, Pam, the reason that you're feeling and you're afraid that your business isn't going to come back is because you need a priority shift. You need some kind of a shift or a pivot or a change in your business to fall in love with it again. I often stay too long in jobs or with businesses after I had created them, and I love the creation phase and getting it up and running and systematizing on autopilot, and then I want to do something else because I get a little bored. That's my pattern. And maybe it's because it's time to look at your priorities and say, what about this business do I love? What, during this time that I'm shut down and I haven't had any business, what could I pivot to or change? Pivot just means change, to reach different people. Maybe you don't love your customers. I've been there. I've been in businesses where I didn't love my customers, and it's really hard to be in business when you don't love your customers. Maybe it's time to just make a shift to honor what you really want in your life with respect to time, how much you work, how you work. Are you working in your area of genius? Are you doing what you love to do? Or is it something that you're doing just to fill the time, just like a job, just like to make money? I've been there too, where I did different jobs and different businesses just for the money, just to make money, to put food on the table, to put, the kids need shoes, baby needs shoes. Used to be a joke of my husband's and my ex-husband's and mine about, hey, baby needs shoes, we got to do this. And not the best philosophy, I will say, going forward. But if you're afraid, ask yourself, well, what am I afraid of? Is this really true? Have I ever, and maybe you never have, maybe this is the first time in your life and in your business that you have had no sales in your business, but ask yourself, what else is possible? Can I get resourceful? Are there ways that I can continue to serve people and make sales even though the state has, or the governor or whatever, has shut down my business? And again, if you need help with your specific business, just hit me up with your specific details of your business, and let's brainstorm and let's make sure that you're moving forward. That's it. That's all I'm going to cover today, because I've probably taken more time than I should. But if you have another question and your specific question hasn't been answered, just hit me up with direct message, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, or in the Get Up and Go Challenge. Just leave a comment below, and let's make sure that you get your questions answered and that you get the help you need so that you can get up and go. Take care, and I will see you with some special guests coming up.